What's up, you fucking weirdos? Welcome to where the weird ones are.
Yeah. Weird ones only, we talking that truth. Ghost in the attic, yeah, show me the proof. Aliens creeping, they light in the roof. Minds wide open, we shatter the booth. Conspiracies deep, we dig in the scars. Demons and angels and bodies on Mars. Cryptids be watching, they lurk in the dark. Mental on edge, but we glowing like stars. Welcome to the pod, no cap, it's a seance. Whispers in the static, spirits doing dance. Reptiles in suits, yeah, running the lands. MK Ultra made a puppet of your mans. Wendigo hunger, dogman strut, flat woods, eyes glow. Slice through the cut, Bigfoot tagging trees. Marking the trail, weird ones ride, no room for the frail. Talking about trauma, talking that soul. Peeling back layers, we dig in a hole. Sacred geometry, numbers align. Ancestors speak through the veil in the sign. Ayahuasca dreams, third eye lit. Shadow self lurking, we making it spit. No mainstream lies. This the dirt where the weird ones rise from the blood and the hurt. Weird ones only, we talking that truth. Ghost in the attic, yeah, show me the proof. Aliens creeping, they light in the roof. Minds wide open, we shatter the booth. Conspiracies deep, we dig in the scars. Demons and angels and bodies on Mars. Cryptids be watching, they lurk in the dark. Mental on edge, but we glowing like stars. Voices in the woods got chills on the neck. Black-eyed kids at the door, now we check. CIA tapped in, fluoride drip. Project Bluebeam, watch that script. Talking about grief, talking about fear. Talking about why them voices appear. Healing the mind while breaking the chain. Spiritual warfare deep in the brain. We don't run from the strange, we live in the strange. Tattoo the truth and the scars and the pain. Stay weird, the mantra we own in the name. Reality bends, so we bend to the same. From the attic to the swamp, we tracking the freak. Where the veil get thin and the silence speak. We ain't your norm, we off that grid. Weird as the wave, yo, this where we live.
What's up, you fucking weirdos? Welcome to another episode of Where the Weird Ones Are. My name is Kevin, but you probably already knew that, and if you didn't, now you do. Today's episode is with my good buddy Ryley Watson, host of Midwest Mythos podcast, which is an amazing podcast. It's much like this one. You should definitely check it out. Riley's a fantastic dude. Like him a lot. I consider him my brother. Spending a lot of time with him out in the woods of the Smoky Mountains in Tennessee not too long ago, back in April, I do believe. But yeah, this conversation is basically about that camping trip. So Ryley had a deep and meaningful experience while he was out there. And I just thought it would be a good idea to have him on and share that experience with all of you. And I really hope you enjoy this episode. And I really hope you give his podcast a chance as well. Just because, I mean, he's probably one of the sweetest dudes I've ever met. And, I'm really happy to have come across him in this journey. And not only through the podcast journey, but my life's journey as well. But real quick shout out to the sponsor, Flavors of the Forest, raw garlic dust. It is amazing. It is super potent. It's better than anything you're going to get at the store. I promise you, I put this shit on everything. And when I say everything, I mean everything. So head on over to flavorsforest.com. Get yourself all of it. Get it all. Sell them, buy them out, buy the store out. They got a couple of different flavors, not just regular garlic. They got everything is infused with garlic, but they have a spicy garlic. They have lion's mane garlic. They have cranberry garlic, horseradish garlic, ginger. It's very good. So you can also follow them on Instagram, Flavors Forest. It's good shit. Also, my good buddy Johnny Nitro. He's got a company, Wild Beauty. God damn it! I gotta need to shut the brightness of this freaking light down or something. Just can't see anything that I try to show you. Or maybe it's the laptop over here, the screen over here. If I do that, will you be able to see it? No. Anyways, so wildbeautyproducts.com, that is where you can find these Whip Tallow moisturizers. They got, a whole bunch of other stuff, lotions, chapstick, and all that stuff. But I really like this stuff because the moisturizer, it doesn't leave you feeling greasy. So when you want to moisturize up, sometimes, with certain lotions and stuff, it feels a little greasy and a little like slimy or slippery or whatever. This shit doesn't do that. So that's what I like about it. Also, if you haven't yet done so, check out my book, The Adventures of Rizzo and Weird Son. I think it's a great book. It's a really quick read. It's really short. But book 2 is coming out. Book 2 is going to be a lot longer, more character building and stuff like that. But this is on Amazon right now. You can go check it out. And if you do so, please leave me a rating. That's the only thing. Like, if you don't leave ratings and reviews on the podcast, that's one thing. I don't care. But if you don't mind leaving a rating and review of the book on Amazon, that would help me greatly to get out to more readers. I care more about the book than I do getting followers and listeners for the podcast, because the podcast is gonna be, I mean, yes, obviously I want listeners and shit like that, but like I'm gonna be doing this regardless. So, and I enjoy doing this. So I like talking to people about their experiences, telling them my experiences and shit like that. So yeah, on Amazon. If you can't find it by the title of the book, just look up my name, Kevin Sapiel Jr. It should come right up. But if you yourself have had an encounter, an experience with anything supernatural, paranormal, cryptids, spirituality, you've struggled with mental health, and you found God or something, or you have a conspiracy that a lot of information on and you would like to share with more people, hit me up at wheretheweirdonesiare@gmail.com, and we can set something up, get you on the show. We can talk about your experiences, all that stuff, whatever, or if you have something to share, that'd be great too. If you're an author, all that stuff, dude. We can get into it. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Please like, follow, share, subscribe, leave a rating and review. You already know that because I'm going to say it at the end. So let's get into this shit with Ryley, shall we? Because he's an amazing dude, and you're going to like it because he is an amazing dude. Okay? Don't forget to check out his podcast. Let's go! Where the Weird Ones Go Productions.
Hello, we are Rachel and Heather, the hosts of Like Mother Like Murder podcast.
And you're listening to Kevin on Where the Weird Ones Are.
Oh.
It just fucking happens,
It just happens.
So, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Where the Weird Ones Are. I got my good buddy Ryley, aka Big Fish, with me today. We're going to talk about Operation Smoke, among other things. We're probably going to shoot the shit a little bit too, because we got to do our catch up. We've been talking for almost 40 minutes now before we decided to roll. So but anyways, for the people that aren't familiar with you, Ryley, if you don't mind letting them know who you are, what you do, where they can find you, where they can find your show, all that shit.
All right, man. I'm going to hit you with the car dealership. So I'm Ryley from Midwest Mythos. Yeah, you know what? I ain't even going to do that, man. I ain't going to sound like I'm smoking crack. All right, guys. I'm Ryley from the Midwest Mythos podcast, also known as Big Fish. I haven't been called that nickname in years, so I'm
really
glad. I'm glad it's making a comeback. But you can find me anywhere you can listen to podcasts. I got a YouTube channel now. I'm having fun with that. All that's underneath Midwest Mythos. The YouTube's Midwest Mythos podcast. I got a link tree. I'll send all that to Kevin. He can put it down below. Anyway, we've done enough. Me and Kevin done enough stuff together. Been tagged in each other's stuff enough. If you just go to his page and you scroll far enough and see this face right here, you'll be able to find something. But yeah.
I did have you featured as the podcast of the. Actually, you know what? You might still be. I might not have changed it yet. For the month of July, actually for June and July, you were the podcast of the month on my website.
Aw.
So let me just see. Let me see if you still are. I feel like I didn't change it yet, but I might have. Yep, you're still there. Maybe you
Sweet.
can see with the lights are fucking
Yeah,
it up.
I can see it. Oh, much love, brother. That
Yeah,
must be
no
where all
problem.
that must be where all that attraction came from.
Yeah. I'm sure because I get so much traffic.
Hey, man, I went up 10 subscribers in the last month on YouTube, so it must have been from you.
It must have. Oh, it definitely was for me. It had nothing to do with Doc and the documentary he's creating.
Hey, man, he ain't posted nothing on there in a minute.
That's true. That's true. That's true. So one of the things that I wanted to talk to Ryley about today for everybody listening and or watching is Operation Smoke, which I've discussed a little bit on the show. We've all the whole group, the whole ragtag crew had been on the Cryptid Huntress, and we talked about it like right after it all went down. And Doc from Prometheus Lens podcast is working on putting like a mini documentary kind of thing. And I created some music for it and stuff like that, and I think it's gonna come out pretty good. But the only problem is that Doc wasn't there the whole time. So, and I literally had no idea he was gonna be creating one until like the second night, and he's like asking us questions on camera and stuff, and I was like, "What the fuck is happening?" But and then I kind of like I kind of put it together, but it was a dope weekend. First of all, I got to hang out with a bunch of cool people, Ryley being one of them. Ryley's probably one of my favorite people that I've met through doing the podcast shit. So yeah, Ryley, one question that I really wanted to ask you while I have you here, is what were your thoughts and anticipations going into that weekend out there in fucking so it's not Gatlinburg, but it's outside of Gatlinburg.
Yeah, the East Tennessee,
Yeah. It's
it's all
somewhere out there.
it's all close but all far away. Mountains make
Yeah.
travel.
Because
Just
I will
found
say,
out.
I will say, because when I went to Gatlinburg for the Smoky Mountain Bigfoot conference, the GPS took me right in that direction. And I'm like, oh my God, we're going to be so close to where I saw Bigfoot for the first time. So I ended up taking the kids right out to where we camped. And
Dude, that's awesome.
yeah, they were like, what in the world? I was like, yeah. I was like, we just walked right out in there. I was like, there's a trail here, there's a trail there, there's a trail over there. I was like, Ryley took a shit right there.
I was scared, man. I was scared.
But yeah, what were your thoughts leading up to that weekend, and while you were on your way out there? Like what was the anticipation? What were your hopes, dreams, and stuff like that was going through your mind?
All right, man. So like I was going into it, I was excited. I was like, all right, I get to hang out with Kevin. I ain't seen Kevin in a couple, almost a year at that point. And then, I get to meet Drewski, Doc, everybody. So I was like, this is gonna be a fun, exciting weekend. I'm not gonna lie, man. I wasn't expecting anything to happen. I thought we were just gonna go out there and camp. I love Harley and I love his research. But not meeting somebody in person and only just seeing like what they post and stuff, I was like, okay, he's super. If you know Harley, he's super passionate about his research, and that's one of the big reasons why I love him so much. Is like, the dude's got the heart, he's got the drive and the ambition. But sometimes like when you get into something, you're like, you start to see things that necessarily in a way that most people wouldn't, and so I'm like, okay, I think this is like 100%, but this could be this or this. So I was like, all right, maybe we'll see a bear or something like that. Maybe we'll get a footprint or something like that. Because I did, I do believe that they are out there. So I was like, yeah, we might get something, but I wasn't stressing or nothing like that. Like I said, I didn't think there was going to be much. Well, on my way down there, because I had about a 12 and a half hour drive, I was going to go visit my buddy and his wife. They just moved out to Kentucky. And then about halfway down, I get a call from Harley. He's like, hey, Bubba, can you come pick me up? And I'm like, damn it, yeah. He called me at just the right time. It was like, go this way for Kentucky, go this way for Tennessee. And he's like, oh, meet me at this exit. This is where I live. And I was like, okay. So I picked him up, and, you know, you got two dudes who were into the thing, first time meeting, and, you know, there was no awkwardness. We were just hanging, talking, and he starts telling me about the area that we're going, and I'm like, all right, well, now I'm face to face with this dude. I can see his emotion. I can hear everything in his voice, and I'm like, oh, this dude's like legit. There's no deceit. There's no extortion like in his voice. Like, no, what he's saying, he's seen and experienced. Like, he truly believes he's seeing. Like, so I'm just like, oh man. Then I started getting a little nervous, and I was like, oh, he may have actually struck gold. And then we go to Doc's house. Thank you, Doc, for letting us crash at your crib. Well, we had a fun night. Went out for breakfast, and then that morning that we're all met before we met you, where we met you, I start getting a little nervous, man. I'm not gonna lie, like in my gut. And then we get out to the place, and soon as it's a super drastic civilization to middle of nowhere.
It was real quick.
Yeah, and I'm just like, oh man. And then I start feeling weird as we're driving out into the mountains. I'm just like, I feel like I'm being washed. My heart starts racing a little bit, and I'm like, man, this is super intimidating. Like, there's something here. So, and like more like on a spiritual side. And then it doesn't help that the second we park and everything, you're like, I'm like, what took you so long? You were right behind us. And you're like, oh, I thought I saw something. I'm like, damn it, dude, it's already.
I literally thought, like, I'm driving, and I'm right behind Doc, and then I see something. It was out of the corner of my eye, and it was just like it was a couple things. It wasn't just one thing. It was just like a couple things. And I stopped, and I looked out the window, and I was like, what the fuck was that? And then I heard something on the other side of me, because both my windows are down. So I turned my head this way, and like as I'm turning my head, like out of the corner of this eye, I see something go, and so I'm like, what is happening right now?
Yeah. So when you said that, I'm like, oh man, it's gonna be a weekend. I like from that moment, I knew we were in for a wild ride. I didn't know how wild of a ride, but I knew we were in for a wild ride, man.
Yeah. It was first of all, like, camaraderie, brotherhood, and experiences. It was all a good weekend for all of it.
Oh yeah. Now, I will say, next time I'm coming prepared. I got to give you a big thank you, because like I was expecting. I mean, not saying we weren't out there, and we were in, but I was like, I was envisioning in my head a different terrain. So like I envisioned like, all right, there's gonna be like an opening or something like that where I'm gonna be able to build like my own personal fire and stuff like that. I only packed food to cook over a fire. I didn't, and we could hardly have a fire because of just the space. So you came in clutch and let me use your Coleman. So I appreciate that, or else I'm not gonna send my fat ass with a starve, because we all know that ain't true. But...
Absolutely. Oh man. So obviously, so for everybody out there, we are doing another hunt coming up soon. That once we are given the okay for more details, we'll definitely give that out. But I'm starting literally right now. I started this weekend training for higher rocks. You know what that is?
No.
So it's like a sort of like a obstacle course kind of thing. And it's basically for it's all cardio and endurance and strength. So I mean, anybody listening or whatever, you can look it up. It's like it's super intense. So I'm looking forward to being out there that weekend because it'll give me like a good number one, it'll give me exercise, the hiking and all that shit. It'll give me fasting because I'm not bringing shit food. I didn't bring shit food last time either. Um and I don't know, I feel like by that time, because since I'm starting now, by that time I'll be so like I don't know. Anyways, I don't know why
Yeah.
I'm super
No.
excited about it. So that maybe that's why I'm bringing it up. But
Yeah.
like, it's I'm not doing it until January, and I've given my because it's it's the whole course is 5 miles.
Mhm.
So you run like a 3/4 of a mile, and then you do something, and then you run another 3/4 and you do something, and so on and so forth, or a half a mile or something, and you like push a sled, and then you pull a sled, and then you do the ski things,
Oh yeah.
those cables, you do the fucking ball fucking throws and
Mhm.
the burpee jumps.
Yep. I used to before when I was younger, like early 20s. Uh
Aren't you still? You're only
yeah,
25,
yeah, no.
so shut the fuck up.
So,
Oh, I'm in my early 20s.
yeah, so my earlier 20s.
A year ago.
3. I was getting in shape. No, 4 years ago. I was getting in shape, and I was trying to do like the Spartan races and stuff like that, man.
Yeah.
And I had the strength down. I could do all the exercise, but man, it was that running, and I didn't get to do it due to some unfortunate circumstances with the guy I was going to do it with. But the training for it's intense. Like my old man,
It
he did
is
them,
intense.
but they're I've heard they're from my old man telling me. He said they're a blast. It's hell, but when you
Mhm.
finish it, he's like it's the best feeling in the entire world. So man, you're gonna have.
Absolutely.
I'm excited for you.
I've done like 10 tough mudder, 11 tough mudders and one tougher mudder, which the tougher or toughest, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It was an 8-hour overnight course so you were literally running 5 miles in a loop. And I finished like 144th overall out of like 500 people.
Nice.
So I mean, I wasn't terrible, but like I did not do enough conditioning. I was in such bad shape. So like I'm nervous. So my this woman that I met through the gym a few years ago, we used to work out together and stuff. She's a bit younger. Actually, she's a lot younger, which I didn't realize until recently, but she's become a since I've met her, she's become a personal trainer, a nutritionist. She was actually giving me I joined up on one of her nutrition classes, so I was talking to her every week for a while, a couple months ago. And I just wanted to support her just because she's been such a good friend. And so she's been posting about the higher rocks, and I'm like, I think I want to do that. And she's like, you should, I could train you. And I'm like, how much? She's like, I'll do it for free. And I was like, what? Say less, dog. Say less. I was like, I'm definitely doing it now. You've enticed me. She's like, well, you'd be the first person I trained for this, so I just don't feel right charging you. Obvious. And so I was like, all right. She's like, so go pick one, pick an event that you want to do. 12 weeks out from that event, we're going to get really intense. And I'm like, all right. So
All right.
I went and I looked through and I found Boston, but Boston is in September. And I
No.
was like, that is way too soon. I was like, dude, I'm complete. I have so much confidence in myself for this shit, but to be ready for that kind of shit, fucking within a month, fuck
No.
no.
No, not happening.
No. So I continued on. There's a Chicago in November. I was like, I don't think I'll be ready in November either. So I continued looking and looking, and I found Phoenix, Arizona in January. So I messaged her. I was like, I think I'm like 5-ish months out. I was like, I think I could be ready in 5 months. So I messaged her. I was like, Phoenix, Arizona. She's like, I'm doing Phoenix, Arizona. I was like, shut the fuck up. Get the fuck out of here. She's like, no, I cannot. But so yeah, so first of all, I get to do the event not only with my trainer, but fucking in a different state that I like.
Yeah.
You know? So
I'll tell you what. I don't know if they do them in Chirac every year, but I'll make this commitment to you right here, right now. If you have a good time with it, and they're around the same time every year, I will do Chicago with you next year.
Chicago next year. All right.
Chirac, bro.
So listen, because I was at the gym this morning, and while I was running, I had this like thought, and I'm like, well, if I can get myself to be disciplined enough, because I know I can. I know that I can. I've done it before. I've done this shit before. I did fighting when I was cage fighting when I was 18, 19 years old. That's the exact condition and training that I want. I'm not going to get it because I'm not going to pay a trainer like that. You know what I mean? But I'm going to try my best to get back into that strength and conditioning, that endurance shit that I was doing when I was fighting. But I was just telling Allie this morning when I got home from the gym. I was like, I think I want to do a bodybuilding competition right after High Rocks. Like if I get myself to the point that I am ready for High Rocks and I do the High Rocks, right? My body is in like not peak, but like it's in good condition to where if I healthily bulk, I could do a bodybuilding competition. I'll always want to do. I know I'm not going to be great. I know I'm not going to be amazing. I'm not going to be the best physique, but I want to do one.
Yeah.
And see what happens. And with this Higher Rocks, I'm not thinking that I'm going to place anywhere. I'm not. I'm thinking get through it. I just want to prove to myself at almost fucking 38 years old, because I'll be 37 by the time I'll be 37 in November.
Damn, you're old.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, what the fuck? Like when I went to the gym on Saturday, I was looking at myself in the mirror doing squats. I was like, damn, my age is catching up to my face, dog.
Nah, your face still look like you're mid-20s.
Shut the fuck up. Anyways, back to this Bigfoot shit. Sorry, everybody.
Yeah, right. Man, all right, man. Let's just take it from the next thing that happened after we arrived, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So like literally, my anticipation of going out there originally, before I asked Drew this, was that we were going to be hiking out into the woods. We're going to leave our car somewhere. We're going to hike fucking a couple miles into the woods, and we were going to set up camp out there. I had no idea that there was like this little like fucking dirt road that brought us out there. It was like, it was getting tight. I was like, fuck, shit. I was like, is this truck going to make it through? But obviously. But so I asked him, I was like, Drew, are we going to, like, where are we setting up camp? Are we going to, are we able to have our vehicles where the base camp is? And he's like, yeah, I just asked Harley. He said we can park right where we are going to be camping. And I was like, all right, because I'm going to bring my bed tent. And I was like, fucking, because if we were hiking out, I would have brought my hammock. But because it's like base camp will be where the cars are. I was like, all right, well, I'm just going to bring the tent for the bed of my truck. Which I'm glad I did, because I brought my mattress. That was fucking comfortable as fuck.
It was bougie camp, man. You was
Dude, yeah. And then I took a nap, dude, and you guys started playing the guitar, and you were singing and serenade, and I fucking kept waking. I wake up, and I'd be like, oh, that's pretty, and I'd fall asleep. I wake up, I'd be like, oh, that's pretty, and I'd fall asleep. But yeah, so first night, you were uncomfortable because you did not have a firearm.
Yes, and I did not get to go out during the day at all, because much like you, I ended up taking some naps too, because ain't nobody had to drive like we did.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. I'm not afraid to admit it. I was scared that first night.
Were you?
Oh yeah, well, like you said, I didn't have a pistol. I didn't have nothing because I had just moved. I didn't want to risk the paperwork not lining up with my address and stuff like that. So I was like,
Yeah.
I'll be all right. Because like I talked about before, like I maybe see a footprint or something like that. I wasn't expecting nothing,
Mm-hmm.
but I got out there, felt weird. But yeah, so I decided to stay back at base camp. While all these guys all went out different directions to have fun.
And the weirdest shit happened at base camp that night.
Yeah, everything. Not everything because
Right.
you and Podunk had some stuff happen, but man, yeah. So I'm just this is I don't even know if I've talked to you guys about this, but this is how I knew something was gonna go on. I'm sitting there. We got Juicy and we got Senior, and you guys start going out, and I go to grab my guitar, and Senior's like, "Hey, don't touch that." And I'm like, "What you mean? Don't we want to draw him in?" He's like, "No." And I'm like, "What do you mean, no?" He's like, "No, Ryley, put your guitar away now." And I'm like, "Okay,
Shit.
I was like, I'm going to listen to him because
Mhm.
he's been in the field since before I was even born and long before it. So I'm like, I'm going to take his advice." And so we start sitting there. We got that cam light set up in the street, super narrow road that we got in. And my one job was, "Hey, Ryley, watch that light." And so I'm watching it. I'm not looking at it, like staring at it, because we had already talked about, hey, don't stare at it, because then your mind's going to start playing tricks. So I'd check on it and stuff like that. Me and Juice decided to look at it, and we're like, did something just cross that thing? Right in front of it. So all three of us are looking, and then all of a sudden, boom, something crosses it again. And we're like, what is happening? Like, there's nobody out here. It's pretty late at this point, and all of a sudden, hey man, this is happening. And then right after that happens, we start doing the calls and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, not woo calls, but making sure everybody's all right.
Right.
And then we start hearing. I don't think you were part of the team that heard this. We start hearing this owl, and it's like real close to base camp. But the other team that went down in the valley, the other way from you guys, like, hey man, we're hearing this owl, and then right by base camp we hear, woo, and we're like, oh, what's the? And then we hear, woo, and I'm like, oh shit! I'm looking, and Senior looks at me. He's like, that's why you don't play the guitar at night.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm in awe, dude, because like I've heard, we've all heard like the Sierra Sounds, the Ohio howl and stuff like that, and I was like, I ain't never heard nothing like that, and I was like, that ain't no damn owl.
No. The way it was described to me was it was like a retarded owl.
Yeah.
Because so it was me, Juan, Don, and Brian. We went up over the ridge, and we went out there. We saw some nests out there, which totally could have been deer nests, to be honest with you. 100% could have been deer nests. But the whole time we're fucking walking, I just hear this like the whole fucking time. It's just like and I'm like, what the fuck is that? And it was always on my right side. And then we took this we went off the big trail into this like little tiny trail, which wasn't like it probably wasn't an actual designated trail, just probably somebody has walked out there a few times. And then I hear it to the other side of me, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening out here? I was like, I don't know if that's a plane, and it's just echoing off the mountains, or if that's an actual growl. If it's a bear, they would have already charged.
Mm-hmm.
So what the fuck is that?
Yeah. What the? I didn't know about that.
Yeah, I told everybody that night when we got back. I was like, I was hearing growls, but it totally could have been a plane, is what I said, is how I said it.
I only heard about the thing in the ear.
The ear. Oh, the whisper in Brian's ear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's all I heard about.
Yeah, yeah. We're literally standing. We're in a kind of like a half circle, and I'm looking right at Brian. And he just goes, "What the fuck was that?" He's like, "Something just went in my ear or something." I can't remember exactly what happened in his ear, but he's like, either they blew like that in his ear or something. I can't remember.
I think
But
I think that's what it was. Just something blue, like right in it.
yeah. Oh, he flipped out.
Yeah, man.
And then we rushed back. We started kind of like making our way back, and then I said, "Oh, we started feeling raindrops." So I said over the radio, I was like, "Hey, just so you guys know, the rain's starting." I was like, "It's gonna be really hard to hear each other on the radio." And then Jessica came back and was like, "We're heading back," and I was like, "They're heading back. Do you want to head back?" And then Drew came on and was like, "Everybody, go back to base." And then like literally as we turn around, it just goes poof. I was like, "Fuck this shit." I was like, "Oh well, I'm already out here. Fuck it."
Yep, man. Oh, I forgot to mention one of the things that happened too is like right after the retarded owl.
Mm-hmm.
So you know how like when I first got there, the first thing Drew had me do was take anointing oil and pray pray the perimeter around the thing. Well, up where like my car was parked and stuff in those woods, I didn't go out that far. The perimeter, I just went to the edge of my, where I took a dump the first night. But we heard like running and rustling like right up there, like right on the edge of there too, and it sounded big and heavy.
You probably should have went a little bit further.
Yeah, well, as we know with what happened the second night,
That didn't matter.
I probably should have, because we'll get to that later. You know, let's take a chronological order.
Absolutely. But we didn't. So after the owls, once we got back and one set off the perimeter alarm,
going out.
Nothing happened. At least not to me. I didn't hear anything. I didn't see anything after. Once I was in my tent, I didn't hear shit. I just watched a little bit of porn and then I went to bed. I'm just kidding. I didn't do that.
Yeah, I think it was pretty chill for us. I think somebody said they heard some like whoops and stuff down in the.
Well, I think the next morning I heard somebody saying that too. I can't remember who.
Well, we can't forget. I almost scarred Paul for life that night, the first night.
Oh, yeah?
Did you hear the story?
I don't know if I have. Please do tell.
He was doing night watch, and
you were pooping.
No, he decided to use the bathroom right next to my car. He thought,
"Oh yes, I did hear the story."
he thought I was
in your hammock.
Yeah, he thought my hammock got soaked, so I just slept in the vehicle.
Yeah.
So I opened my door and I scared him so bad. I see this bright light and I was like, "Oh man, I'm getting abducted by like aliens or something out here. Ain't nobody gonna believe me." Either that, or I thought you was coming to cuddle, but I opened up the door, man. I scared him so bad. I think that was his biggest fright of the weekend.
Other than the second night.
He wasn't. Yeah, no, yeah, on our way, yeah.
Because he was with you, and he was the one turning his lights on.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So, but yeah, man, that first night was great, and it was disappointing at the same time. You know, the rain sucked. I was happy Jessica was able to get out there and hang out with us. I'm actually looking forward to seeing her again. She's dope. I like her a lot. In fact, I like everybody a lot. All the people that we spent the time with that weekend, I like all of them a lot.
There was not a bad person on that.
No.
On that crew.
I will say, somebody threatening to kill somebody else's dog in defense of my dog. That person is like my fucking family now.
Yeah.
So
when I heard about that, I was like, he's a G.
yeah. So shout out Podunk for defending my dog that weekend. I was like, what? I was like, you're gonna get into a fight with a fucking animal over my dog? I like you. I like you a lot, man. I was like, I think I want to marry you now. Not really, but like, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
No homo, just a little bit.
Just enough to make fun.
Just enough to make it fun. You got a pretty mouth.
And, boy, and that's why we keep Vaseline in our bags.
That's why we bring Vaseline. Absolutely. Absolutely. And now you got me. No, I'm just kidding. I don't want to get too weird. I'm weird, but I don't want to get too weird on camera.
Yeah, we'll save it for next time we meet up.
Man, that morning, dude, was dope. Just coffee, camaraderie, fucking just putting our heads together again once we all had clear-minded minds. And then going out on the hikes.
That was a lot of
during
fun.
the day. That was a lot of fun. Seeing my first ever track of a foot. Like, and listen, and I'm sure there's plenty of skeptics out there. I'm still kind of skeptic. I'm still kind of skeptical. You know, when I was looking at this footprint, clear as day, toes and a heel, and it was a huge ass foot. Granted, it was close to the size of my foot, but still bigger. I'm still like, this could just be like a large person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not, and I'm just like, it was so weird to have a distinct fucking footprint right here and have nothing behind it or in front of it. It was the strangest fucking thing. And it was like, listen, I try every time when I'm experiencing something or I'm seeing something to dispel it, to write it off as something that isn't supernatural. But this fucking footprint was clear as day, a footprint, and it was bigger than any of us. Like, and I'm not saying like it's maybe somebody put their bare foot there and it elongated over time through like weather and stuff. Like, when snow melts, you put your foot in snow and then the snow starts melting and your footprint gets longer. This is not at all that. It was distinctly, it was fucking there.
Mm-hmm. And I got big feet, bro. Like, I vary between size 13 and 14.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're thinking about the exact same print. And I'm like, I had the same experience, but I'm like, what the hell, man? Like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like you said, there's nothing behind it. There's nothing in front of it. And I put my shoe next to it, and I'm like, this it's big. It's not, not as big as some of the ones like you see from Cliff from Finding Bigfoot, like at his museum and stuff like that. But I mean, it's still
like, it was just a little bit bigger than your shoe. I remember you putting your shoe next to it.
Yeah,
It was
and I
just
don't.
a little bit, like, it was just a little bit longer than that. I think Harley said it was like 17 to 20 inches, something like that, or maybe it was 20 inches. I can't remember.
The width, man, is what got me, because
Mhm.
I got real wide. I got paddle feet, man.
Mhm.
But it was wide, like an extra like 2 inches wider than my foot, and that's when you're talking about feet, 2 inches is a lot.
Yeah, for sure, dude. I went over that log that was in front of it, and I'm looking through this wetland, and I'm trying to find another print. Cannot find another print. So, like, even if it was a person, a regular person, there would be more footprints. I don't know. I would say, like, maybe Harley went out there barefoot and fucking did some weird shit before we got out there, but that can't be the case just because of the way the foot was and how matted down it was, but then it was also covered up at the same time. It was just really weird.
It was,
And Harley's foot is not wide.
no,
That boy ain't got no wide feet, but he is a fucking tall son of a gun, I'll tell you that.
Dude, I'll tell you what. I'm glad there was a few shorter people than me there, man, because I felt like an ant.
I think the only tall people were Harley and Brian.
Yeah, Doc's pretty tall too.
Doc is a little bit taller than me.
But Brian and Harley, man, they some giants.
Yeah. It doesn't help that fucking Brian's a fucking bodybuilder too.
Yeah,
So he's
like
got
shit
that
out.
and he's like that.
I'll tell you what though, he's one of the nicest dudes on the entire planet, man.
Fucking teddy bear.
Oh yeah, man. I looked at him, I was like, dude, I don't want to mess with this guy. Like when I first seen him, and then I started talking to him, I was like, I can't wait till the next time I hang out with this dude.
Yeah.
Him and his raccoons.
Yeah. The fucking raccoons. Yeah, then we found a shelter or whatever, right? And then we found right after that shelter or like some bendy shit happening, which I'm gonna be honest with you, a lot of the things that Harley was pointing out as like bent trees and shit, I'm just like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I can't tell you if it like I don't think it's a Bigfoot thing. I think this is like a weather thing.
There was that, not the main one, but that giant one that went over the river from one side to the other.
Yeah.
That one, I got a picture of that on my phone. I was looking at that and I was like, now that, I've seen a lot of tree falls fall in a lot of ways. It's like that one, I'm not going to say 100%, it was Sasquatch or something like that did it. I would lean more towards that than just like the wind caught it, because the tree was still alive too.
It was, yeah, you're right.
But that other one that we found where the action happened,
yeah,
that was freaking weird, man.
Yeah. So so everybody listening, we went out during the day to this hike. On this hike, we found a couple. It wasn't just one footprint, but I think we found 3 in all out there that day.
Yeah.
I found one and I was so excited. I was like, I think this is a footprint. And Harley's like, wow, you found something. And I was like, yes. But we found that like it looked like a shelter, right? It was a whole bunch of branches thrown together that didn't look like they just fell there. It was a whole bunch of different trees, different species of trees all intertwined together, and then we found that hog pen right past it. And then when we went back out there that night, it looked like there was shrubbery added to it.
I'm hesitant. No, I'm going to say it because I don't think you got it on camera. But that footprint I found right next to it.
Yeah.
Were you there for that?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, clear as day. Same size as the one that we were talking about earlier. Fresh and planted in the mud, man. And it so much definition. All 5. It was the cleanest footprint I think I've ever seen. And I don't think anybody took pictures of it or anything because we really didn't have. We were having too much, like it's go time.
Yeah. So we ended up baiting. We ended up putting out bait. Drew set up a bait, and he put it on that hog pen right past that shelter looking thing. And all of us together had an experience. So I'm seeing first of all, I'm seeing eyes. I'm seeing things move. Go ahead.
Do we want to talk about the walk-in before that?
Do we want to? Go ahead.
At
sure,
nighttime?
Yeah, let's do it.
Because I think that I'm sorry to cut you off with that, but I think that's gonna
kind of lead. Yeah, I mean that'll explain like the feelings leading up to. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
All right, man. And this is where I already had a lot of respect for you, but at nighttime when we go out there, we're sitting walking. You think you hear something up on the bluff. Dawn's got the thermal and she's scanning, saying she's seeing stuff up top. Then all of a sudden, what did you say? You turned around and I forgot exactly what it is you said to me.
I was like, dude, you gotta breathe. I put
Yeah.
my hand right on, because I can hear you like taking in a breath, like inhaling, but then I'm not hearing an exhale. So like, I would hear an inhale, and then I wouldn't hear anything, and like, because I'm trying to be quiet and I'm trying to listen the best that I can. And I hear, and then we take a couple steps, and I hear,
I didn't even realize I was
and I'm
doing
like,
that then.
and I was like, what the fuck was that? And then you let out a big exhale, and you were like, and then you took in another big fucking breath, and I'm like, he's holding his breath. Like, he's holding, every time you're intaking air, you're holding it too long, and you're gonna make yourself lightheaded, especially with like the physical exertion of hiking.
Yeah.
So that's when I heard it a couple times, and I was like, and I wanted to, I needed to hear it like a couple times before I said anything, because I didn't want to be like, just turn around and be like, dude, you got to breathe, and you'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about? You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like, I wanted to be sure that that was happening. So I was just like, I just put my hand on your chest, and I was just like, dude, I was like, you got to breathe. You need to relax. Because I felt like, and when I put my hand on your chest, it felt like a panic attack. I'm not trying to say that I'm special or anything or whatever, but I pick up on people's emotions,
Mhm.
and I had that feeling about you. As soon as I turned around and put my hand on your chest, I was like, this kid's gonna have a panic attack out here.
And I don't know what it was, man, because like in my head, like I'm just trying to take everything in,
Mm-hmm.
but I just all of a sudden just came with like super big anxiety. Uh, like my whole body was in like fight or flight mode out of nowhere, and like I didn't realize I wasn't breathing, but like I was just like super on edge, and I in the moment I didn't know what it was. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
obviously I was armed this time, so I felt a lot better, and we're all we're all together, so I'm like, all right, I trust these guys in my life, a
Mm-hmm.
majority of them, and the guys that I don't, I know do. It's just I don't know them that well,
Right.
and so, but it was just weird, man. I I don't know what it was, but like when you did that, it kind of snapped me back to reality because I was almost in like a trance-like state. Like looking back on it, it was weird, but yeah, once was like breathe, it kind of just like snapped me out of it, and I don't know what that was, honestly. It could be stress,
Yeah.
just
I
being in the
mean,
environment.
the excitement of the moment and shit
It,
like that. Like,
yeah.
it can happen. I've seen it before. I've had panic attacks too. Like,
Hmm.
I can read the signs.
Yeah.
And it's weird because I never really had a panic attack until, I'm not going to talk about it, but until my last relationship, I'll just say that. I've never had any kind of panic attacks, and I ended up having like 2 or 3 or something like that. Um while I was with her, and more towards the end. But anyways, like I was just like, I need to calm him down, or he's not gonna have a good time.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that because you did ground me like in that moment, and from there I was able to think more clear and stuff for a, a majority of the time after that.
Yeah.
It but it was just weird, and I don't know if maybe we can talk about the theories in a few minutes after we talk about what's up next.
Yeah. Yeah. Um and then I was hearing shit. I was hearing movement. I was seeing eye shine and shit. Um like you said, Don kept catching things on the thermal randomly. And we get out to the spot. Well, we get out to that shelter, and Harley's like, they've added to it. Oh my god! And I'm like, I can't tell because it's dark, but maybe. And then so we set up the bait and shit, and we're all sitting there together, which I think was a good move, because I don't think none of us, especially right then in that moment, I don't think none of us should have been separated.
Yeah.
So fucking, I'm sitting there. I have my gun out. Drew is near the river or creek, whatever the fuck you want to call that fucking thing. And I see a red dot in the woods, and I'm like, "What the fuck is that?" And I was like, "Hey, Drew, did you shine your laser? And you're like, I'm not Drew. Or something like that. I can't remember because you were pretty close to me, but I think it was you, me, and Doc were close to each other, and then Drew was technically right here, but I didn't I just turned my head this way, so I was looking at you, because I couldn't see you. I was looking at you and Doc, and I was like, hey, are you shining your laser, Drew? Or I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, it was something along those lines.
And then you said, I think Drew's laser is green, actually. And I go, Drew, do you have a fucking laser? And he's like, yeah. I was like, did you just shine it? He goes, no. And I go, I just saw a red dot out here. He goes, my laser's green. I was like, oh shit, I'm seeing some shit out here. And then it seemed like something was flying over us, like a light.
Yeah,
some kind of light.
Because me and you were, because we were laying down right next to each other, and you said something to me, and I started looking up, and I'm like,
And then those screams were the most freakiest thing of that whole, to me anyway. I know that you experienced something else in a little bit from right the moment that we're talking about right now, but to me that was the most freakiest of the whole time. Was there was screaming in front of us, and then there was screaming behind us, and then it stopped, and it was like a good minute or two, and then there was screaming in front of us, and then right after, screaming behind us, and I'm like, what is happening?
Because I didn't hear the screams until you tapped on my shoulder and were like, Riley, you hear those screams behind us? And I'm like, oh.
I stood right up and I fucking pointed my gun in that direction. I'm like, I don't know where they're coming from. They could totally be this way, and I'm pointing my gun this way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. All right.
So and it didn't sound like an animal. Just to clarify, it was not like a cat, like a big cat screech or anything. This was like almost whoop sounding.
Mm-hmm. I think that's what you said. It was like, you hear those whoops behind us? And I'm like, no, I do. Well, because when we were laying down too, like when you saw the red thing, I remember looking at you and I'm like, do you see all these like little blue lights just floating around us and stuff like that?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's like, oh, those are lightning bugs. And I'm like,
some of them definitely were, but
I ain't never seen a blue damn lightning bug.
I mean, I've never seen a blue one either. I'll be honest with you.
There was lightning bugs, but I was talking about the blue ones. And I was talking to recently. I was talking to Brad Lyle from the Awaken podcast. I had him on, and we were just sitting there talking. He's like, giving everything. He's like, that area may have been thin. You may have been seeing like something like starting to manifest, or like little forest something. I'm like, I don't know, man. But all I know is I ain't never seen no damn blue lightning bug.
I mean, I was like, because that when you were like, you see all those lights, and I was like, yeah, it's fucking lightning bugs, and you're like, blue ones, and I'm like, shit, there are some blue ones.
Yeah, because they were right behind us. Because the regular lightning bugs were like right in front of us, but the blue ones were behind us.
And then
Harley
starts freaking out. So, if you don't mind, what did you see when you looked through that thermal?
Okay, so what I saw was that tree that was off to the left of that little laurel or whatever they call them down there. I don't know.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about. That bush.
Yeah.
That tree that we marked, actually. I marked with spray. I saw a head peeking out, and it was slightly warmer than, it wasn't red out the thermal or anything like that, but it was slightly it was like the regular white, but a little yellow mixed in, like just peeking out behind this tree, staring directly at us. So then I hand you the camera, and what did you see?
Harley holds it, and he holds it up to my face. He's like, let me find it real quick. And I put my head in it, and I see shoulders and a head completely red, like my shirt.
That's wild. And
I looked really quick, and I wish I would have actually stared a little bit longer and studied what I was looking at, so that I would have a bit. But I did see I saw head and shoulders, and it was red. Totally could have been aiming the camera at Juan, but I don't know.
See, the only thing that has been going through my head behind that. So I actually, when I went to Ohio a couple weeks ago, and I was hanging out with Justin and Jay, Cryptids of Corn,
Yeah,
and
who cares about those guys?
yeah. But I was talking to him, and you know, Justin's spent a lot of time as a wildlife biologist. You know, he's used a lot of these techs. And I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah,
what would cause like discoloration and thermal stuff like that? He's like, oh, well, if you move it and stuff, sometimes it takes a minute, like from like move it far, you know, not just like a scan, but like if somebody handing it to somebody else, he's like, it can cause a like delay in the heat signature sensing on them. So something might appear cooler for a minute because you and I were on the same level,
yes,
but Harley was lower than us, so he had to hand it up. So I'm like, oh, but you know, still, I was kind of like, in the moment, I said, oh, I see it, you know, it's looking right at us, but you know, I try to be skeptical about what it is, but it wasn't until after the stuff goes down when you go over there, and I'm like, is that where you saw it? And had you hold up your hand, like how high you think it was, because we were looking at the exact same thing.
mm-hmm.
So we had to have seen something.
Yes, yeah. I'm pretty sure it was something. it was
It,
it was something.
it was something. Like if you would have went somewhere else and did something else, I would say, you know, all right,
Yeah,
maybe my mind was just playing trick. But the fact that same tree, same height,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
there had to be something.
yeah. I'm chalking it up to it being Bigfoot.
Me
So
too.
it was my first Bigfoot experience. That's what I've been saying this whole time. Um, so that it was the fucking dude. It was amazing. It was stressful, but it was fun. It was a little scary at times, but you know, it was a good time. Regardless, I'm glad nobody died. That's for sure. And I know a lot of people probably listening are, unless you're like out there and you're experiencing, like, look, I've been in the woods my whole life. Um, there's only been a few times that I've been scared in the woods. And like this, I wasn't necessarily scared, but something was happening that was different than all the other times I've ever been in. Granted, I've never been in the Tennessee mountains before. I've never been in the Smokies. So this is my first time, you know?
It's the same. Besides,
Right.
you know, just like the generic tourist like hike on, you know, the main
Yes, yeah.
paved and gravel trails and stuff like that. You know,
Yeah.
I've
So
done
like
that.
I mean, I've heard noises in the middle of the night before. I've been out in the White Mountains camping when all my, like, since I was a little kid to my early 20s, and I've hiked through the woods in the middle of the night and gotten scared by a couple of wolves. And they stress not to go out into the woods in the middle of the night because of where we camped was so remote that bears would come into the campground all the time. So they stressed not to go out there. But I was like 13, 14. Me and my cousin thought we were fucking the shit and brave, and we came across some wolves. Other than that, like, I've never experienced anything fucking weird in the woods like that. So like this was a completely different experience than wild animals to me.
Same. Like, you know, I've talked the first time we did, and I told you about like I had something happen in the woods behind my house one time, but you know, this was nothing like that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and what happens next is what real like you know seeing the stuff on the thermal, hearing the stuff like that got my heart racing. But you know what happened next was just
Yeah,
insane.
yeah.
Like
Like, I don't know. I think that's this like between this and what you guys ended up experiencing, I'm like, there it's definitely something. Like, yes, I mean, I saw mushroom people out in the woods. I saw fucking what I think is a dog man out in the woods. I saw a weird fucking coyote cross the street coming out of the woods and back into the woods. That fucking paw turned into a human hand, skinwalker. I don't know what the fuck it was. Whatever it was, I've seen some weird shit in the woods, but I also know I can deter. Like, so the mushroom people were like 10 feet into the woods off of the fucking road. Like, you could still see the house from where it was.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And I was inside my house when I saw what I thought was a dog man. I was driving down the street when I saw this coyote fucking thing cross the street. So, like, every time I've been out in the middle of the woods, I've never had anything that I could like be like, this is something weird, and not an animal until this weekend. So at that time, we were waiting for Paul and Brian to come back down in for everybody listening and watching. So we waited for them. Well, what happened was that fucking chem light. So the chem light is just a fucking glow stick. And we just put it out as like a marker to show us where something is. And that's where the bait was. So when we saw what we saw in the thermal, Drew wanted to charge it. So as soon as we got over there and what we were seeing on the thermal was no longer there, Drew's like, dude, he's like, I've been a flesh and blood guy my entire life, but I'm really starting to think that there's more of a spiritual thing to this. He goes, there's like, how are we seeing this on thermal? Come running over here and there's nothing here.
Yeah. And man, because after we saw, you know, the stuff and we all got back together, Juan and I were like, we need to, like, me and Juan were feeling really bad. Like, I was starting to feel sick, all this kind of stuff. And
you guys started stress eating and sharing a granola bar.
Yeah, brothers for life, man. He's got my 6, I got his till the day we die. And that's just a fat man bond.
Yeah.
But, you know, me and him were sitting there, like, you know, trying to keep quiet so, you know, so people don't hear us. I know people did, but we're like, man, we need to, I'm going to go back, man. I hope they don't try doing some, like, Scooby-Doo, like, oh, let's all split up and get out of here. You know, let's break into teams. You know, we're
5 minutes later.
5 minutes later. All right, guys, we're going to split up in the groups of 2. And me and Juan look at you, son of a bitch. Man. So we broke the rule. We didn't split in the groups of 2. We went in a group of 4.
4, you did, yeah.
As we're doing that, we're like, whatever we do, we're not going back to where we were. Well, guess what? Sometimes that's just how the cookie crumbles. The 4 of us were exactly where we were just 10 minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
We get the call. Lights out. I don't want to go lights out. I don't want to go lights out, man. There's something out here. I don't want to go lights out. Turn the lights out. And then it's just boom, boom. Like, now it's like, I'm freaking out. Juan's freaking out. And we're just, this ain't right. Like, I need to turn the lights on. I need to turn the lights on. Then we hear in the creek, like 10 feet in front of, behind us, 10, 15 feet. Dude, turn the lights on. No, we're good. But we got I unholster. We're guns up, and then we hear on the ridge. Come on, man, we gotta turn the lights on. And then the creek 10 feet ahead of us. Lights on. And that's when we start flipping all our lights on, like, we're leaving. Because, like, Juan and I thought we were gonna die. We're sitting there. And Paul, he's like, this is weird. Like, guns up. But me and Juan are like, we're going to die. If we do not leave this valley right now, we are going to die. And we just, like, maybe we're being a little dramatic, but everything in us felt like we were going to die.
Mm-hmm.
So we dipped, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And on the walk back, we kept on hearing stuff.
Someone was pacing you too, wasn't it? I think that's what Dawn said.
Yeah, and she was scanning with the thermal, seeing stuff too. And dude, I'm sitting there, me and Juan are talking, like, almost in tears and stuff. And then we just leave you guys out there, and you guys have everything that happened to y'all. But on the way back, we thought we got lost on the way back. Yeah, we had the marks, but, like, we must have missed, like, a mark in the group, like, in between a gap. and we just like, which way do we go? Which way? And then Juan was like, we'll try this way, and luckily that was the right way.
Mm-hmm.
But we were like, me and Juan are big dudes. I mean, Juan's bigger than me, but like we was moving. We was moving.
Oh man. Yeah, I was like, why the fuck they keep turning their lights on? Like, what is happening over there? And Drew's like, hey, what are you? Why are the lights coming on? And he asked like 3 or 4 times, and was not getting a response on the radio.
Yeah, we couldn't get nothing on the channels because I had the radio. I couldn't get nothing.
Yeah.
We're only 100, 150 feet away from each other.
Yeah, if that. Like, Doc and I are sitting next to each other eating Skittles, and fucking, he's like, and I'm sitting there and I'm staring at the light on the bait, and I just fucking out of the corner of my eye, it's like, I'm just like, what the fuck is happening over there? So that's when Drew was like, what the fuck is happening? But then you guys, you either called out or you got the radio to work and were like, hey, we're experiencing some shit over here. We need to get the fuck out of here. We're having like a panic attack and shit or something like that. I can't remember. But
yeah,
it was to that extent, and we're like, oh shit. And then at first we were all just like, what the fuck, you fucking idiots. And then once we knew what was happening, we're like, oh no.
Yeah, it was wild, man. And
Mm-hmm.
looking back at it, dude, and just recalling we were getting blasted by infrasound, bro.
Well, for sure. The way you explained it afterwards. So, if you can, like, describe the feelings that you were getting the best. I mean, you pretty much already have, but if you can add a little more detail to it for the people listening and or watching, because sometimes this gets watched.
Yeah. So first off, I felt like I was gonna die. Like I had this primal fear. Like, well, previously when you've had me on, I told you about my I was in the car that one time and I couldn't get the door open, and I felt that primal fear in the back, like I was in the presence of a demon. It was like that, but amplified, like by times like 2, which with that level of fear times 2 is quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm just like, this ain't right, My anxiety's going up. I feel sick to my stomach. I don't feel good, man. Like my whole body's shaking. Like I'm trembling in fear, and like everything's moving in slow motion, but a million miles an hour at the exact same time. Like I'm like kind of disoriented in my head a little bit, It didn't feel real, but the realest, most alive I've ever felt. It's
okay.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah. I mean, you can feel all your veins. You can feel all the blood pumping all at once. It's all, and your heart's pounding. Yeah, I bet you had really dry mouth too.
Yeah. Yes, I did.
So, when did you start feeling normal at all? Like, or were you scared the rest of the night?
Well, that's a good question, because I know at least when we got back, when we started sitting down, you're like, here, sit down next to me, and we were sitting and talking and stuff, and like you looked at me and like, you can cry if you want to, like it's all right, And I didn't even look.
You're like, I'm not gonna fucking cry.
Yeah, like I didn't like feel like I was gonna cry or anything, and it wasn't until I saw the trailer for Operation Smoke that Doc had recorded me. I looked like I was about to bawl my eyes out, man.
You sounded like that's why I put my hand on you while you were talking to the camera. I was like, fucking, because I could hear it in your voice. I'm like, you're crying right now. What are you talking about? You're not gonna cry.
Yeah, like it didn't. I don't know, man. It just didn't feel like. I think eventually
Mm-hmm.
Like once I started talking, I started to, but then everything else started to happen, and I don't think it was until my about 4 hours into my ride home the next day that I kind of felt,
Okay, again.
yeah, okay, because Drew called me and was like, "Hey, brother, you all right? You had a time." And then I was like, "Yeah, I'm good now. It was a lot. I was terrified." He's like, "Yeah, it takes a lot to admit that you were scared." And I was like, "Yeah, I was terrified." And he was like, "Would you do it again?" And I was like, "Honestly, yeah, 110%."
Yeah,
He's like, He's like, "Riley, you got the hard one out the way. The first time's always the hardest." And
yeah,
but
that's true.
but everything else that we had happen, like when we were sitting there, that I was
Dude,
yeah, not for the rest of the night.
yeah, the birds chirping was fucking weird in the middle of the night. Like I know birds chirp when the sun's down sometimes, or a lot of times, but it's usually closer to dusk or closer to dawn. You know,
Not
like it's like right like so if it's dark out and the birds are chirping, it had been like an hour maybe or so after the sun has gone down, or it's like an hour or so before the sun comes up. I have never heard it I've never heard birds chirping at midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning.
well, it was like 2 o'clock, two
Yeah,
thirty when this. Dude, I get chills just thinking about it right now.
yeah. So Brian and I go down because he had this experience with the orb. So we walk down the road a bit, and we're standing there and we're talking. We're whispering to each other and stuff, and then all of a sudden we hear the birds, and I'm like, since when do birds chirp in the middle of the night? He goes, they fucking don't, he says. And I go, oh shit. He's like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I've never been scared, and I'm scared right now, so we need to fucking leave. And I was like, okay, let's go. I'm with you. And then like as soon as we turn around, like I felt like something was behind me, and I just like I stopped and turned around. I was like, did you see that? He's like, I'm pretty sure I saw something just run across the road. And I was like, let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, and who was telling you guys not to go?
Yeah, Pops.
Yeah,
Senior, Brian's dad was like, don't go back down there.
didn't
I just kept the whole walk back after Brian after he was like, I just saw something across the street, and I was like, I'm pretty sure I saw something too. I would like I walked with my flashlight behind me. Like I just shined the light behind me. I didn't fucking put the light. I used Brian's light in front of us, and I just shined the light in front behind us because I didn't want to like be shining in front of us and then turn around and something be in my face.
yeah, yeah,
So like with the light behind me, if I turned, like I can already see something coming at me out of the corner of my eye. You know what I mean?
yeah, and that whole hour was just weird because what we were everybody could see this in the trailer. We're sitting there. I get done talking, you start talking, then we hear that.
Yeah, the whistling and then the fucking whatever
Yeah,
the fuck that was, and fucking Harley was like, "That ain't no fucking deer, boys," and everybody's running out with their guns.
and where that whistle was right next to my hammock, like where me, Drew,
Drew.
and Brian and Juice set up our hammocks.
Yep.
That was as that was as far as I took the anointing oil out.
Oh man, we got to do a bigger perimeter next time.
Yeah, we're going to. It's going to be much bigger next time, which means
Yeah,
I'm.
because I think I'm gonna have to bring my hammock to the next one.
Oh, dude, I'm buying a tent. I ain't doing no hammock again.
Oh, the hammock's so comfy though.
I know, but I was too terrified to sleep in the hammock the second night.
I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring a ladder and put myself high up in the tree. Which actually maybe not. Maybe that's not a good idea
That's
with a
not.
dog, man.
Yeah, I don't think that's a good idea. Not at all. What the hell, man?
Like no.
Man,
Oh shit.
the wildest part is though, like everything that we've talked about tonight is only a small fraction of actually everything that happened.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's so much to like to experience it is completely different than talking about it. Obviously, everybody knows that. I feel like everybody knows that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So it was a good time. I'm looking forward to the next one. I really hope we get more under our belt. Not only with not with this next one. I hope that it continues for as long as it can continue, and with the same group of people.
Yeah, and I mean the group's growing too. I mean, every single time, it's
I don't want more to the group. No, kill him. I mean, don't kill him, but like, why do it? No, I'm just kidding.
no, I think
I do feel like the more people there are, I feel like the less of an experience it'll be.
yeah, I think the group of guys we got right now is pretty solid. You know, like if we're going out somewhere, obviously to somebody's place or something like that, you know, they tag along, you know, or
Right, right.
or if we got like a buddy in the area, because I know if we ever come up to Michigan, I got a few people I've already been talking with that are interested that know the area and stuff like that. But I think as far as like the core group goes, you know, I think we are pretty solid, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. My girlfriend actually has a friend that wants to go out on a excursion with us. Her and her dad, I guess. Her and her dad are like really big Bigfoot people, and they met through fucking work. And she just like randomly sent her a picture of her laptop with it. She's like, I got a new sticker, and it was a Bigfoot sticker. And she's like, you believe in Bigfoot? She goes, hell yeah, I do. And she goes, what? My boyfriend has a fucking podcast where he talks about this shit. And she's like, what the fuck?
Oh, that's awesome, man. It's funny how easy it is to start a conversation about this kind of stuff now.
It
Uh,
really is.
I had one of my buddies. He he works in the medical field, and he said he was talking to a guy, and he told him about my podcast. He's like, "Oh, well, check it out." you
Yeah.
know,
It's dope, dude. It's dope. And I feel like finding Bigfoot, Expedition Bigfoot and shit like that, just kind of like as ridiculous as some of the episodes were, like I just feel like it caused more interest. I mean, that's how it started for me, was Finding Bigfoot. I was watching Finding Bigfoot with Braden. Braden was super into it, and I was just like, fuck this shit. This is stupid. And
that,
then
yeah,
and now look at me. I'm fucking out there in the woods looking for it.
they're doing the exact same.
I'm
No,
doing that same exact thing.
well, we do things a little bit different at CW Ops, but
We do. That's true.
we would get canceled off TV so quick.
I don't know, mountain monsters. They walk around with guns.
All right, yeah, never mind.
Yeah, and you know what? The size of those guys, I guarantee you they're only walking 10 feet into the woods anyway. Come on, man. I know. Listen, I know you and Juan are on the bigger side of people, but there's some dudes that look like they would have a heart attack if they walked as much as we did in Tennessee. And I'm not trying to put them down or anything. I just think their show is ridiculous and it's fucking stupid. So
Well,
that's just what I think. That's my opinion, you know.
well, that's what I love about those guys because
They're funny. They are hilarious. I'll give them that. They are funny.
that's what their show was, and they all know that. Like that's what they wanted for that show. It was supposed to be the funny, like get you thinking, get you into the topic, but like don't take what we're doing seriously. Like this is a TV
Okay.
show. So
Yeah.
they're very, very aware of that kind of stuff. Like if you ever meet any of them in person, they're actually, I mean, pretty cool, and they'll talk about, yeah, this was ridiculous, but we had a blast doing it, you know.
Yeah. All right. So all right. Yeah. Well, I'll give them a pass then, I guess.
And they were very self-aware of what was happening.
10 feet off the street.
Probably. Hey, a lot can happen 10 feet, as we learned.
That's true. That is true.
A lot can happen 10 feet off the street.
You're not wrong. You're not incorrect. Man, Ryley, this was an awesome conversation. I'm glad that I got the chance to talk to you. And I'm so glad that you agreed to do this last minute. It means a lot to me, dude. It really does. I really appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, anytime, brother. When I woke up and seen that text, I was like, all right. I looked at my calendar. I was like, all right, I'm talking to Kevin tonight.
Yeah.
I was like, are you serious? I was like, yeah. Why not? And she's like, I guess we don't have anything going. Yeah, do it.
Yeah, I was like, I was sitting there this morning, and because I had to somebody cancel last night. They're experiencing some storms and their power went out and shit like that, but I guess supposedly. And I got to thinking, I was like, you know what? Fucking, I really need to start like kind of like getting a little bit ahead because I didn't have an episode for last week, so I just revived one.
Same with me. I dropped 2 revival episodes.
Oh, did you too? Okay, I saw that I did see that you dropped one, and I was just like, you know what, fucking, everybody's like bringing back some of their old episodes every once in a while. I was like, maybe I'll do that once in a great while too, and I'll just call it revival. So that's what I did. I revived an old ass episode um and put that out. It was just to have something, so people aren't thinking that I'm like just done or something like that. So
Yeah.
but so yeah, so I have an episode for this week, so this episode will be the week after. And I'm trying to get Harley on this week so that I have a third one, so like in case something ever happens again, I at least have one extra episode.
Me too, man. I've been texting Harley too, trying to.
Yeah, I've tried like a million times with Harley, but I know he's a busy dude, so
his job does not allow for flexibility.
he's a lineman, right?
Yeah, so
Yeah, it's a lot of hours. I used to do utility line clearance, so I know all about it.
Oh yeah.
So,
but yeah, brother. But thank you for having me on. It's always a blast when I get to talk to you. I guarantee we'll talk again before we see each other. Here
most likely. But again, if you don't mind, just running through all your like whole spiel about finding you, where to go for the show, and you personally, and all that stuff one more time.
All right. Well, first off, I'm gonna say if this is your first episode listening to Where the Weird Ones Are, make sure you give him a 5-star review. Leave a comment saying Kevin is cool or something, or Kevin is cute. Give him some love, man, and go check out his weird sauce. That stuff, we didn't even bring that up. Kevin brought me a bottle of weird sauce, hot lemon squeeze. Oh, that is the best hot sauce I've ever had. And I'm not just blowing smoke up his butt because he's right here. I put that on everything. I've been meaning to reorder some, so I'll probably do that after we get off here. And but yeah, you show him some love, and then if you feeling some love, come see me at find me anywhere at Midwest Mythos Podcast or just straight up Midwest Mythos YouTube, Midwest Mythos Podcast. The Instagram's just Midwest Mythos. If you want to get a hold of me, I got a link tree in the bio, or you can just DM me on Instagram, emailing me at Midwest Mythos Podcast at Outlook.com. I looked on Google. I've been flexing this lately, But if you type in Midwest Mythos on Google, I'm the first 3 pages on Google, man. So it ain't that hard to find me. And yeah, come hang out. I have fun. The guests have fun. We just have fun. I find it very hard to stay on topic on some episodes. So there's a lot of side tangents, but it's a good time. Very similar to Kevin's show. We just like to have fun and talk to people. But you can find me all those places. And thanks again, brother.
Yeah, no, man. Thank you. It means a lot to me that people are willing to, give up some of their time because, time is our fucking greatest currency.
Yes, sir.
Regardless of whatever fucking anything is, like to give somebody your time, that means more to me than anything else. So the fact that you sat here for, well, it's probably at this point 2 hours technically before we recorded. So that, dude, that's dope as fuck to me that you're willing to spend this time with me. So,
dude, Kevin,
thank you.
You're in my circle, man. Like, I'll talk to anybody and I'll do anything for most people. But like you and a couple other guys, like you guys are my brothers in this. So anytime you ever need somebody to come on and just shoot crap with, hit me up and I'll make the time work for you, brother.
Up, dude. Well, I appreciate it, but for the listeners out there, if you don't mind, like Ryley said, leave a 5-star rating. Well, you don't have to leave a fucking 5-star, but leave a rating and review. Like, follow, share, subscribe, do all that shit. If your podcatcher doesn't allow you to leave a rating or a review, please consider doing so on the website where the weird ones are podcast.com. That is also where you can get merch, hot sauce, coffee, and supplements. I also wrote a couple short stories. There's a couple articles up there as well in the blog spot. Yeah, so the free ways to support the show are like following, sharing, and subscribing. Share it with somebody you think might be interested in it, or even if you don't like the show, maybe somebody might. But that's the free way to help the show grow. For sure, it takes a couple seconds, but I totally understand. I don't fucking do that shit for the podcasts I listen to either. So, so I totally understand it and do not care, because regardless, I'm still going to be here doing this show because this is something that I love to do and I enjoy it. I don't make any money off of it realistically, but that's not my goal. My goal is to have these conversations. So if you are interested in supporting financially, merch, hot sauce, coffee, and supplements are a couple of the ways, but you can also find me on Patreon at Weirdos Only. $5 a month, you get a free coffee mug, you get early access to each episode, and you get an extra podcast called Keep Digging, where I do deep dives into conspiracies, hauntings, and all the fringe shit. So I got about 4 episodes up there. I do have a episode. My 4th episode is on JFK, and I do have a part 2 coming out on JFK because I have read some new stuff. So, so I'm gonna be recording that soon. So if you're interested in that shit, please hit me up. Well, follow the Patreon. So you can find Keep Digging on Spotify too, but you got to pay for it. It's, again, $5 a month. You get a free coffee mug. And no matter what I do on Patreon, everything is going to be $5. I'm not going to do this fucking tier shit because that's fucking silly. Anything more than $5 I think is ridiculous for a podcaster to be charging. So that's just my opinion. And I'm not saying other podcasters that do it are fucking ridiculous. I'm just saying, to me, it's ridiculous, and I personally wouldn't pay for it, so I don't expect anybody else to. So, anyways, you guys know the fucking drill. That was a long spiel, and I apologize. So, you know the drill. Question everything and stay weird.
In the quiet of the night, when the world feels far, there's a voice through the static, like a falling star. It calls the misfits, the dreamers, the ones who see the shadows in the corners, the truth we barely believe. From the pine tree woods to the desert skies, they talk of ghosts and aliens with wonder in their eyes, not afraid to ask the questions that others won't dare, 'cause the world gets strange when you stop and stare. Come gather around where the weird ones are, by the fireside glow or a midnight car, where the stories run deep and the secrets fly like owls in the dark or stars in the sky. If you've ever felt lost, like you don't belong, you found your place, you found your song, right here where the weird ones are. They'll talk of cryptids, time slips, and deja vu, of spirits that linger, and what might be true. But more than the monsters, it's the people you'll find who dare to be open with curious minds. It's not about fear, it's the thrill of the ride, to question the world with wonder as guide. So pull up a chair, let your freak flag fly, we're the seekers of truth beneath the sky. Yeah, come gather around where the weird ones are, on the moonlit thoughts and cosmic scars, where the veil feels thin and the questions burn, and we chase the strange at every turn. You're not alone, not in the dark, you're with a tribe. You found the spark right here where the weird ones are. For the ones who wonder, for the ones who know, welcome home.